If you're tuning in now, please make sure to hit that like button. And if you're watching after live, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button, share this on social media, help us expand the audience. At these times, especially more than any others, even if we don't have a lot of people talking, I think it's vital. I think it's vital for you to be here right now. If that's not you during the live, if you're watching after the live, it's our job right now, our opportunity to pay attention to the formation out in front of us. It's our opportunity right now to recognize what comes next after this drop. It's our opportunity to be able to watch the market dip right now and to see if that's a dip or if that leads into a bigger fall. It's also our opportunity to be able to be together today and have whoever decides to show up for this live, whoever decides to put the time in, and whoever decides to put the work in, to be able to form an accurate opinion amongst us all. It goes farther than just me saying something in an update when I can come on these lives. It goes even farther when we're having an educated and informed discussion instead of focusing on the bullshit. So let's keep it good, let's keep it positive, and let's try to get straight to the point. James, welcome in. Hello, my friend. I'm glad to see you in here. Kryptonian, good evening. James Montgomery, I also appreciate you with the XRP Predictor, the emoji badge. That's, I believe, month 6. We're at the end of a 6-year ascending wedge. Very interesting. Very interesting. Smash the like and share. Yes, indeed, Theo. Thank you so much for that. Search for crypto. Welcome in. I don't know. Good to see you as well, my friend. Kryptonian, welcome in. Harvey Boy, good evening. Free Toast, welcome in. Bobby, good evening. Matt Holden, welcome in, and thank you so much for having I believe that's the 5 months badge. That's the XRP Meteor. Love it. Thank you so much for continuing in Tom's Army. It is vital to this community. As you all know, or maybe you don't, if you're new, I don't do any paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships just so you can get a free viewing experience and you don't have to deal with all the BS. So if you'd like to pay it forward, what I would do, I would love to see more people in Tom's Army, but I won't sugarcoat it. I guess I will sugarcoat it. Whether or not you're in Tom's Army or not, you're still entitled to the information. That's just a good way to pay it forward. Bobby Ferguson, welcome in. Mo, I appreciate you also having that month 5 badge, the XRP Predictor. Unless that's the month 5 and the Predictor, or it's month 6 and 5. I sometimes mix them up. Jorge, welcome in. Gideon, good evening. Mark Caston, welcome in. Tony Carter, Mr. Tony Carter, hashtag mother second choice. Thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for well over 1 year. He's got the I told you so badge. Love it. Love it. Mike says, hi, I'm new to your channel, but it's growing on me. Oh, I love hearing that. Love seeing the new ones that are in here to see if they stick around. I definitely think you'll find a very entertaining environment here. One that you don't have to worry about any of the BS. I get straight to the points. I show you the facts, and if you like it, good. If you don't, you're probably not ready to hear the truth, and that's okay with me. Some people that don't want to hear the truths, they're more, they'll go to the FUD stations, and you know what? They make a bunch of money off of the non-truthers. And unfortunately, it costs you in the wallet. When you rather build into your future, build an investment instead of giving somebody else an opportunity. Don't give somebody else an opportunity that you deserve. Real talk. Matt Holden, welcome in. Hayden, welcome in. Sorry, it's mixed with the trading view, so sometimes it's hard to see the words, as you guys can probably tell on my screen. And thank you for being in 5 months approximately as well with the XRP Meteor. John, good evening. Good to see everybody in here. Sky Sighting, welcome in. Marvin, MKP, good evening. Yes, let's see how this plays out. Devin, welcome in. Good to see you in here as well, my brother. I believe he's got the I told you so badge. That's the 1 year badge, and he's been in well over a year. So I do appreciate that continued support. So good evening, 6:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, January 22nd, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. We're under a winter storm warning right now. So we'll see what happens. Should be interesting. We only had like 0.1 inches of snowfall up until the second week of January. Now we've had just over 6 inches, and now we look to be having a nice event to come here in the next 24 hours or 48 hours. We've got Bitcoin, XRP, and crypto. The daily candle closes at 7 p.m. So we've got about 34 minutes until then. So we've got some stuff to unwrap as we get towards there. We're going to do this in a unified and a very sniper-like approach where we look at everything we need to look at. We do the bing, bang, and a boom. And we try to grow the community as we go along. Try to build support from within. And try to find some others to be dedicated as well. Try to advance the army. See if we can pick up more members in Tom's army. But at the end of the day, the only thing that is real value in here, outside of actually looking, is getting to know your fellow man and woman. Because then you can understand who's trying to pull the wool over your eyes or the ones who actually care about you. Because I guarantee you there's both lurking right now. 100%. So make sure you identify with the right community. Or with the right crowd within the community, I should say even. If you feel vulnerable, probably talking to the wrong people. If somebody's asking you to pay for a course, definitely not the right person. Because if you know what you're talking about, you shouldn't be charging for it. Assuming that you're going to base an entire station around it, you would think you'd want to give out that information so people can see your value. So, right now it looks like this is what we formed in the immediate short term. If this is the case, this could be a bottoming part of the pattern at 518. I do like what we did at the end of the candle right now. Let's pull this RSI up. We can see at the end of the daily candle here in the 2 hourly, we've come back into oversold. It's not that it came back, but it's never left oversold. Hourly, if we just look here, it's come up a little bit. Looks like a little bull flaggy though. So I think tomorrow after 7 p.m. could be okay for crypto. We've had such a big downturn. It would not surprise me if now we have that return rally and see just how this is going to play out. As we know, the 3 hour, 4 hourly, daily, especially daily, is going to look a lot better after today closes. So I think it's going to be interesting. Well, it doesn't look good. It depends which aspect you're looking at. Depends which way you're looking at it. I don't see anything different than when so here's my thing. So it doesn't look good, but right? Let's play it doesn't look good. Let's play the it doesn't look good game that I always hear. XRP looks like trash. It's never good. Even now, although now it doesn't look good on paper because of how much it's down. But I mean, you can look at it objectively or you can look at it from a grand scale. Right here, when I circled it way back here, that's July of 22. XRP was sitting at under 30 cents. Now we've rising channel. Continue to use this channel as resistance support. So as we go up, even if we come all the way down, 43.8 would be the floor compared to where? The floor at 29. So what exactly doesn't look good? Now, if the rising channel breaks, it looks terrible. But right now, we're within a very long formation, and we've successfully retested that formation. So, I mean, you have to go universally. I mean, sure, it doesn't look good because in the last couple months, it's down 25, 30%. But again, everything is optics. I don't think what everybody thinks they're seeing is actually what's happening. I think you've had the wool pulled over your eyes, a lot of people that are watching with XRP and crypto, and they just don't understand what the hell is going on because nobody tells them the truth. And that's fine. That's why I'm here. And one of the reasons I like to be bold and blunt is because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you the truth when I have to tell you the truth. And sometimes I come on and I'm more bold. Today I'm more bold because I have to be. All I see in the comments lately are ones that are giving up. I don't want you to give up. I want you to still have faith and understand. I keep trying to tell you with XRP, make sure to hit that like button too. That really does help. And comment. Even if you don't like what I'm saying, give a comment. Give it a comment. Give it a comment. Just like the Italians say, give it a kisses. Give it a comment. And a like. And a share while you're at it too. But when it comes to XRP, I firmly believe that it's going to be nothing more than a liquidity pool or tool for the banks in the institute. Think about this. If the banks don't have adequate liquidity, but this is conditional, ladies and gentlemen, to being in a digital system. You can't tell me I'm right or wrong while we're still in a cash system. It has to be digital for this to work. So think of exchanges. Exchanges have unfounded liquidity that's not actually there, and they use it based on Tether. USDT. We all know it. It's right in front of our faces. If we understand crypto, we understand that's the truth. With the banks, we don't have adequate liquidity. So if we go to a digital environment, what happens with XRP? Well, we have 99.94 billion tokens as the total circulating supply. Imagine they only created that total amount so that the banks can have added liquidity. And what I mean by that, you've got 99.9 billion tokens. What if each bank took 25, 50 million XRP, right? Each bank that is a part of the system And then you start targeting it. So they have 50 million XRP in their bank. XRP's at $1. They got $50 million in liquidity. Bank needs $500 million in liquidity. Well, you go to $10. I mean, it seems pretty simple to me what they're going to end up doing. So that's what I think is going to happen with XRP. That's why when I say it's a stable coin, it doesn't mean it's shit. You want it to be a stable coin. You want it to have utility, and don't compare it to Bitcoin. It's impossible to get the price of Bitcoin. And don't shoot the messenger, please, but I'm trying to keep everybody on the right track, and I promise this is building into the technical analysis. But when it comes to Bitcoin, you have a circulating supply of like 19.6 million circulating supply. Total supply. Circulating supply, 19.6 million. Just XRP circulating supply, 54.3 billion right now. 99.98 billion. You can't compare apple to oranges. When you compare XRP being the next Bitcoin, the better Bitcoin, the faster, the cheaper, the stronger, the better network, that means that I can send $800 and it'll charge me a fraction of a penny, and I will get $799.99 to send it somewhere in about 5 seconds at max. It's supposed to be about 1 second, but depending on the exchange, give it 5 seconds. With Bitcoin, I can send that same $800 and have to pay anywhere from $20 to $80, depending on how busy the network is. It can take anywhere from 20 to 2 hours to get there. So would you rather pay less than a cent, get it there in less than less than 60 seconds at the max, but normally 1 to 3 seconds? Or do you want to wait eons and pay 10% of what you're sending? I mean, it seems like the real deal when you talk about XRP. XRP is not the only one you can do that with, but it has the biggest amount of liquidity that it can send to do this. So if you need to dump off layers to somebody, it's just no different than a credit card. I need to fund my business. I got no money, got good credit, gonna shred it. Here you go. Now I got $700,000 in credit. Once it's gone, you're fucked. But now for $700,000, I can live for a very long time, and we'll deal with it then. Well, now because it's an inadequate thing, you know, that's what I think's going on with XRP. I think a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I think that's the truth. I can't help it if that's what I think's going to happen. And I think most people are watching me to hear what I think is going to happen. So in 2024, it's my ambition, it's my goal, and it's my desire, and it's my commitment to each and every one of you to not just give it to you raw, but give it to you the truth, but not just the truth that you hear everywhere else. The truth as I see it. Because that's how I've been identifying my own portfolio for years. How I've been identifying the fact that I switch and every profit I have goes into precious metals. Not a commodity, a precious metal that I can hold, that I can smell, that I can caress. Ooh, I can caress it. I can feel it on my skin. You know, I can play Monopoly with it. I can take it outside in the snow. I can go work out with it. I can lift weights. Hell, I can even smoke a joint with it. That's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to build everybody up, and I realized in 2021 I was too big of a dick. 2022 I went away from myself. 2023 we started to nail it. 2024 we're going to get it right. You know, and we're starting to build a history here, and the one thing I can concretely say, I've never missed a single day. No matter what, never missed a single day. So we're achieving something special here. So XRP. If anybody was in here earlier when we talked, XRP is a very interesting proposition here, because that's our little overextended wedge we created that we were talking about in the short time frame. Not that it's even that relevant. It was just to show, like, hey, we are kind of creating this broadening wedge formation in the short term. But right now it's our job. We want to stay back here, stay above this it's like 524 area, but it created that formation, and you can draw it. You can draw it out. You absolutely can. But I'm trying to stay in the short time frame because you can draw this down from here, and you can connect it and be like, oh, look, the pattern's almost done, which it is fine. We can draw it like that, but I know the grander pattern. So that's why I drew in the small broadening wedge, so you can see the same support or resistance there without having to crowd up the paper. Well, if we look at the other chart, though, it tells an interesting story, because this is what we formed right now. So I think this is the kind of trading basis we have to trade off of, is right here. So we have to trade off of XRP being at the 51.85 and possibly bouncing back up to, okay, to 59 cents. and 53.30 or 534 would be where the resistance would have to hit to break that. So if it breaks 534, we're on our way back up. We're oversold. Like, this is the cool thing now. Maybe not in like the hourly. What is going on here? But if we look at the 3 hourly, we're still oversold. Yes, we still have to wait for the candle to close at 7. But like the 1 hourly, 2 hourly looks good still. 1 hourly, it's finally starting to break back up into an area where it could start to push next level, and then the final level. So this looks a little bull flaggy. So I would expect momentarily we might get one more quick move down to maybe 30 in the RSI. Maybe not. Maybe not. It could be happening within this candle before it closes. But it does look like we're starting to rotate back up. In general, when we start to show this kind of a rotational pattern, you've seen it back here, and now you're seeing it back here again. Generally, this leads to the finishing push back up. So what does that mean if I'm a betting man with XRP? And then we'll get back to the point of the technicals real quick. But if I'm a betting man with XRP, it looks like, nope, we're not using that chart because that'll leave you having more questions than answers. Let's just be honest. This is the chart of all charts right now. So it leads me to believe that we're probably going to come over 534 in time here. And then we're probably going to have a nice retest. Maybe it just comes up here, and let's look in the 2 hourly. Not the 2 hourly. Maybe the 30-minute. Okay. Maybe it comes up here. Maybe it comes up to like 54.5 cents. Because if I was a betting man, this is what would have to happen for it to come all the way back up to the top of the pattern. The one that it's created now in the drop. You got many different patterns, but this is the short-term pattern so we can understand if we're bearish or bullish back at the top. You got to figure it out every step of the way, and then we can decide. But right now, XRP, we technically... Where's this at? I went too far. Technically, what we're looking at here is I would expect, if it was me, I would expect XRP, if it's going to rally up, how it bounced out, I would expect it to bounce up here, then come back to this support, then bounce all the way up if it's going to do it. Like it would have to do this, bounce to the 200, clear that out, then bounce up, then bounce on top of the 200, or the 200 and the 30. So you'd probably get something like, it looks like kind of a W, come up, bounce, back up, back down, then it would have to look something like that. So one could say it could have kind of created like an inversion pattern, inverted head and shoulders maybe. But it would have to do something like that. If it fails to do that, and let's just say one way of failure would be to come up here, get rejected by the 534 line, come through and consolidate, and then maybe it comes up. Or you get rejected, come down below, rejected, and work your way through, ultimately down to this area. And then if it breaks that, if you get down below that 496, 497 level, then you've got a little bit of an issue because then it brings up to about 45 cents for the rising channel support, which is all the way back from June of 2022. So it does bring many different optics here. So if somebody says this is what's happening, this is how it plays out, and it is going straight to here from here, there's many different levels, and if it doesn't line up with what I'm telling you, it's wrong. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but just the way it's setting up, I'm not making anything up. I'm drawing it out. I'm putting the patterns in as they are supposed to be. We're taking parts and segments of it that are going to play out next. And then on the grand pattern, we have the overall pattern formation of all time, just so we can back test this and backtrack ourselves and test out what we're saying. This is XLM, but I don't know how I went there. But with XRP, we've got the all-time pattern here in many different setups. I don't know what happened here, why it looks like that. Nah, it always does that. I'm not too worried about it. I'll fix it after if we actually need the 100% setup. But that's the estimated move up here. So I think we line it up with here. But you could certainly bring it down. It would tend to show it's kind of on the top side, which I don't like because it's not on the top side. I think this is a perfect interpretation of how to do this. But we'll see. We'll see. Because now it's taking the down route. And you can see all these are temporary stopping gaps until you get down to the... This is the 20... which one is this? I think this is the 2017 uptrend. No, 2020 is that one. The one below it's 2017. And then the one below it's 2015. So 2020 uptrend is what we're working with right now. So that's before we went into the, what some call it a mini bull run in 2021, which I think it was just a bear market rally because we never even came within let's face it, we're only like 50, 55% to all-time high. So I don't know how that can be considered a bull market when somebody's not made whole. Everybody should be made whole and then some in a bull market. No, that's just how it goes. Bull markets, you don't have anybody under from the last cycle. That's not how it works. I know a lot of people like to sugarcoat it, but I'm sorry, but that's not how it works. When it comes to this, though, if you look at this objectively, 89 people watching, 63 likes. Please make sure to hit that like button. That's all I ask. There hasn't been any donations in this live. There hasn't been anybody joining Tom's Army. So I think it's your duty and your diligence to hit that like button to show me your appreciation. I don't even make you sit through the BS paid promotions, advertisements, sponsorships that every other station shows you, no matter how big or small they are. You know, ExpressVPN, you know, all this other shit they'll show you on their station. Join this, do that, buy this, buy that, join this, subscribe to that. Fuck that. It's not worth my time. Not enough time in the day for me to spend wasting it on that junk. I'd rather you get the real information. So 1 week, and this is why everybody's grim, down 8.78% unless you know the truth. 1 month, down 15.86%. 3 months, down 4% roughly. 6 months, down over 25%. Year to date, down 14.47%. 6 months is down 25.6%. 1 year is up 30.57%. So some will be like, oh, yeah, it doesn't do anything year over year. Well, this year over year, it's up 30.5%. So it just all depends. Tom, are you prepared to have the longest hair in the world? Taki, I am. I am prepared to have the longest hair in the world. I take that challenge. If I have to, because I will have the longest hair in the world by the time it gets probably the all-time highs. Because that would be probably 2028. Unless we get a miracle mini bull run. Okay. Is it cooked good?
Looks good.
Okay.
I don't think I burned it.
Oh, I don't care. Good job. Just to get started, thanks, Tom. Hey, CJ2 Pilot, thanks for the $4.99 donation. Hey, you might have circumvented some people were hitting the like button. We have 77 now. And I commend 87 of you for sticking this out. I really do. I really do. JW, welcome in. And a little late prayers time. Hey, thank you for the prayers. As some of you know, my aunt passed away a couple days ago, and funeral stuff starts tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting. Beloved aunt, so we'll miss her. Mo, thank you for being in Tom's Army as well for 5 or 6 months with the XRP Meteor, and JW's been in Tom's Army for 2 years plus, so love it. Thank you so much for that. And then if we look at some of the measurables here with XRP, if we look at more technicals, and this is the technical trader, so I figured I would start doing this. In the daily time frame, all 26 indicators are neutral as far as the summary. So that means all moving averages and all oscillators are neutral. All of them. So you try to make a decision on all neutral in the daily. Now in the 4 hourly, it gets a little different. 14 sells. 1 cell in the oscillators, 13 cells according to the moving average. What do we say about moving average? Lagging indicators. Oscillators, I would probably put more stock into the oscillator right now because we're going to have a retest in the shorter time frame. So that's why you're getting 6 neutral, 4 buys, and only 1 sell. We do it in the 2 hour. 13 sells, 1 buy, and the moving averages, 3 sells, no buys, 8 neutral in the oscillators. 1 hourly. 2 sells, 1 buy, 8 neutral. Still no buys is according to moving averages. Now, if we take it out to the weekly, this is where it gets a little tricky. It's still mostly sell. Moving averages 12 sell, 1 neutral, 2 buy. Oscillators 2 sell, 8 neutral, 1 buy. And then in the monthly, we've got 1 sell, 9 neutral, and 1 buy for the oscillators. And we've got 7 sell, 5 buy, and 1 neutral for the monthly, which means we're starting to catch up to where it's starting to become a 50-50 split now in the monthly. That means we're starting to catch up to where we need to be. Think about it. The buy zone's almost around 48, 49.5 cents to me. It even shows it here at 47.9 is a buy. 51.6 is a buy. See, even 51.6 is a buy. The exponential moving average on a 50-day basis in the monthly. So, I mean, look where we're at right now. So, I think it speaks to us as a possible bounce up here. Even though you look at this 53.5 is a sell, 55.3 is a sell, 54.4 is a sell, 55 is a sell. And then down at 47.9 is a buy. So anywhere between 47.9 and 51.6 is a reversal part of the pattern. It's already telling us it within the indicators. That's where there's strong opportunities. And because the technical traders buy these indicators, expect it to be either at 51.6 or if it gets stretched down on a wick, it's not going past 47.9. I would believe more that it's probably going to bounce off the 516 or the 497 instead of going to 479 for the next buy, but you never know. You never quite can tell. Yeah, you eat. Should I get you a pop? Oh, I got to grab something for Julie. Hold on just one sec. And then here's the indicators if you want to read through them real quickly, because I think it adds a lot of value. And then we'll get back to the charts. Oh, you need to stop. If you're going to enjoy your pizza.
Oh, a little rat just ran to our door. Yeah. Ghost is just watching.
Ghost is watching the rat?
Yeah. She's just standing there. Just looking.
All right. All right, so you're welcome, Julie. So that's what we had with the indicators. Most people probably, yeah, I was going to say some people probably left. So, I mean, other than that, what I covered already, really I want to go over Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at 39,564, down 2,021 points on the day, or 4.87%. We've talked about how Bitcoin was truly overextended in the weekly a couple weeks ago and it had to come down. It's broken a little bit below our first target on a breakdown. It had a technical move, which we fulfilled the 39,868. But if you look a little bit closer, we actually, where's my other Bitcoin chart? Of course. I love, have I ever said how much I hate TradingView? So it deleted my other chart that I had on here, but we'll just put it back on here. But it's just super annoying when it does it. But you just have to remember what you use, and then you can put it back. But we already had this move measured down, or measured out, if Bitcoin decided to break through the support it did. And right now, the targeted move would be 38,533 if it wants to continue down. That's being like top end breakdown right now. Before what you would expect to have a reversal of one of these prior levels that you would have to test out. Daily's going to be a lot better after this candle close. 4 hourly is an extreme oversold. We're getting into the extreme oversold areas now. So, like I was saying earlier, buying Bitcoin on a futures trade might not be the worst opportunity, honestly. It honestly might not be the worst opportunity. And I'm starting to consider possibly taking that avenue here. And I would love to know what anybody thinks. But look how oversold we are right now. In these, we're all the way down to 18 right now in the 2 hourly. 1 hourly, it just continues to dive. 45 tried to bounce out, dive back down. 30-minute is starting to consolidate back down. 15-minute consolidating back down. I mean, you can see this. 5-minute diving back down. Like, The perfect opportunity would be if Bitcoin decided, or if Bitcoin gave you the opportunity and it fell off 1,000 more points. That would be the perfect opportunity. And I only say that because that's the technical target on a breakthrough. Actually, no, it's not. We broke through down here, so let's get the accurate number because it's going to be a little bit higher. 38,673 is the technical target from over here. So you technically, that would be as close to there as you can buy it if you're expecting a reversal. And by the looks of it in the higher time frames, it's just waiting for the shorter time frames to catch up. We could have one more violent drop here for everybody who decided to go long already. And the violent drop, it's not like it's going to be a game changer. From here, it's only 2.4%. So on a 10x trade, that's 24%. So on $1,000, you're down 247. So you want to get it as close to that stop gap as possible. That's my own personal opinion, and that's my interpretation of the market. And I don't advise you leverage trade because I am not a financial advisor. So what the hell do I know? So, other than that, XLM is down 2.73%, down 0.003, down to 0.11254. XLM, this was my perfect scenario if it decides to play out like this in time. If it could come down there, I believe that gives us a perfect bounce back up, and it ends up finishing off a beautiful style pattern here that could turn into a big W reversal, or it's just going to keep having a big consolidation here and very volatile at that. But that's what I want to see happen, and then you could see what it would create if it does what I was saying. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen in time. It hopefully should dump down to 10.9 area before it makes that push to 11.6. That would give it the best opportunity to actually be able to maybe make a move past there. But then DGB down 4.98% to 0.0764. DGB had an artificial push-up, so that's not good. You don't want these artificial push-ups like that because it drains liquidity for the topside move. So what it probably did is you see how it overextended the 5-minute to where it had to come all the way back down now. And now one could argue that now it's going to station or be consolidating sideways, and then it's going to start off with a quick move down to touch down here. Because of that push up, now it almost guarantees the 0.075 again. 30-minute, it's working its way back down. But look, it's in like a kind of a rising channel in the RSI because of that one little candle. Otherwise, it could have corrected itself. But now, it needs more consolidation, it looks like. XDC, almost down to that uptrending support. We've been waiting a long time for it to get down there for the reversal. Almost there. I don't know if it's going to hit it exactly, but 452, it's trending into extreme oversold in the smaller time frames. 2 hourly is getting down there as well. 3 hourly, 4 hour. I mean, all of this is starting to... Remember how when it got to the top, we were saying we've got no choice but to reverse down? It's the complete opposite. At some point here, we're going to have no choice but to reverse back to the top side because we're going to be so overextended. And this is when blood's in the water. This is blood's in the water. See how Bitcoin's coming down right now? We could have blood in the water if it comes down to 38,700 level. 38,700 would be beautiful. We're trying to front run this. Thanks, Matt, for your condolences. I appreciate that. Tanya, welcome in, love. And fortunately, we haven't looked at H-bar yet. It's on 5.55% or 0.0042 cents to 7.1 cents. H-bar's come back down. It's trying to touch this uptrending support on this rising channel. As we said, when it got rejected up here, it has no choice but to come back down now and see if the rising channel still has support. And that's right down at about 7 cents, 698 actually. So we'll see how it responds. Daily time frame is going to be an oversold after 4 hourlies trying to... It's deciding how far it's going to go into oversold, but we're oversold everywhere, almost in the daily, all the way down in every time frame until you get to the smaller ones. 45's weaseled its way out, but it's going to end up probably falling back down in the immediate short term. Same with the 30. It looks like it's trending down to that top of that rising channel support. So after that, if it can hold, you'd have a volatile spike back up. First spike would be to see if we can get back above this 7.5. After that, if you get above 7.5, you should be good because you'll create a W reversal. I know it doesn't seem like it now, but there's an opportunity for a lot of these cryptos. They're forming what could be a big W in the making. So let's just see. You know, that's what I'm interested to see. Do these play true and create a W reversal, or do they just play down and come right through the support? So I'll leave that for your interpretation. I will certainly leave that for your interpretation. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I think I've done my job here tonight. I'm going to let my mind rest for what's coming up tomorrow. But I will be back a couple times tomorrow before I do have to go to the viewing. And then Wednesday will be a little trickier because that's actually the funeral. It's at like 9:30 in the morning. And I'll do my morning update, but I don't know what's going to happen after. I'll probably do some lives later at night or some updates, but I like to keep busy. So we all have that to look forward to. Thank you all so much for believing in my work. We've got 4 minutes left. I'm going to leave it up to you before the close. Do you want to spend some time and smoke a joint with me, or should I leave? That's the question I ask every time. This concludes the informative part of our technical analysis, even though I still bounce around, as you know. Algo, we're coming down to S3 support, basically. 1, 2, third support here, if we could hold, was the biggest bounce. If we break down that wall and that barrier, well, let's just say it gets a little interesting. A little interesting. It would get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. So we probably don't want to break that area. We probably don't want to break this area. And I've tried to show every feasible way that this area can hold. It's just, we're running out of ways now. If this breaks this little, I don't even know if I really want to show that anymore, but there was a reason for that because it was the old resistance back here. We were trying to see if it could use it as a new support, if it came down that far. And this is actually the ideal spot for a bounce. What am I talking about? 4 hourly, extremely oversold. 3 hourly, oversold, extremely. 2 hourly, starting to rotate up a little bit. Same thing with the hourly, but it started to correct a little bit, which is what you want to see. You want it to start riding that trend line up. 30-minute came back through, so it might be showing a little bit of weakness still. 15, starting to come back to consolidate. Maybe it's just catching up. If these time frames catch up, there's an opportunity here more than likely. These are getting into oversold so badly, so the crowd has spoken, so I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Oh, wait a minute. I have a beautiful segment. Oh, it's beautiful. Peter oh, man. It's a perfect time while I do this. I actually stopped it right where I wanted you to hear it.
Anywhere near the caliber. But he understands this. But at any head of state ever, shows you how ridiculous the government lawsuit is. Because without the merger, the company's...
Okay, that's before.
It is illegal. Based on U.S. government rules, it is illegal for a foreign carrier to sell tickets on a domestic route, even if the plane is flying that route. And if you're not sure what I mean, let's say you got Air New Zealand, for example.
I want you to... Where was this at?
We got an uptick in consumer sentiment.
Oh, that's what happened.
It came out at minus 10, and it is a bet. These mining stocks, as you can see, they can have all kinds of problems, and they do have all kinds of problems. But that's one of the reasons that they're cheap. But I think they're going to benefit dramatically from a reevaluation of the price of gold, which is going to happen. I mean, 2,000 is the floor. The ceiling is the sky. I think that, once we really take off, we're not looking back. I mean, everybody wants to talk about a moonshot for Bitcoin. It's not Bitcoin, it's going to the moon. It's gold. It has to, based on all of the things that I know the Federal Reserve and other central banks are going to be doing in the immediate future. And in the U.S., this year in particular, because it is an election year, and the Fed is going to do everything it can to reelect Biden. And I'm going to talk politics in a bit because, we have the Iowa caucus. We got the New Hampshire primary coming up next week. So I'm going to talk politics. But before I do that, I just wanted to go over some of the economic data that come out during the week, while the market was making new highs and everybody was celebrating. There was actually bad news if you look at it. So first of all, the Empire State Manufacturing Index came out, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, because Monday was a holiday. And it was supposed to come out at minus 4.7. And it came out at minus 43.7. 43.7. I mean, this is like the worst number since the COVID lockdowns. And I think back to back, we have the biggest 2-month decline in the history of the Empire State Manufacturing Index. I mean, manufacturing is a complete disaster. In fact, we got the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index later in the week. This was supposed to be minus 6.7.
Do you hear these numbers, ladies and gentlemen? And I know a lot of people are going to leave. I understand it. But, like, if you're trying to get an understanding of the market, why not get all the information? If it's available to you, I encourage you, when you find these moments in time, yes, it might take up your time, but spend the extra 5 or 10 minutes. That's all it's going to take you. That's all it's going to take. Tell a friend.
It came out at minus 10.6. And the prior month,
some homegrown garage bats until springtime. Excellent. Excellent.
which was originally reported as minus 10.5, was revised to minus 12.8. This is the 5th consecutive month where this index has been negative. But it's been negative for 8.
Oh, somebody asked me what strand I had. I have Apple Slaps, it's called. More earthy tasting strand that I've enjoyed. It's like 24.7 or 25.7% THC. I think it's a little overvalued. I think it's more like 21, but who am I to say?
Out of the past 20 months. This is a massive manufacturing recession. Remember, on my last podcast, I talked about this, surrogate from the Biden administration that was on TV talking about this booming.
My friend, gold's been tokenized since PAX G, my friend. It's already tokenized. If you want to buy a digital version of it that's not even gold, you can always buy PAX G. It's supposed to be equivalent to the troy ounce of gold. It's supposed to be on par, which it's not, but it's as close as you're going to get. Like right now, I think it was at 2004 and gold's at 2018 or something. But that's your digital tokenization if you want to go that route. But yeah, there's a lot of routes that they're trying to go digital with gold. But just like, to me, you can have that digital shit. I'll keep the stuff that I can caress and sleep with at night.
Manufacturing economy that we've had under Biden.
Oh, well, that's a different story. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, Raphael. Okay. I should have expected that's what you were talking about. You're thinking outside. Yes. That definitely can be on the ledger. Absolutely. Definitely is. It's speculation for the ledger. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Is what insured? On PAX G? No. No. I don't believe it is. I don't believe it'll be insured. PAX G, it's like a digital holding. It's like you're holding a slip that says, I own this gold. You can convert it into ounces if you own PAX G. But if you lose it all, if you lose it all, let's say you're trying to do something crazy with leverage or something, that you might not want to, you could lose it. But I don't believe it's insured if you just buy if you buy it per, let's say you spend $2,004 to get an ounce of it. You don't have the same insurance of you having it in your hand. Anything can go wrong with PAX G, and then maybe you don't get it. I've seen too many crazy things. It's still a player in the markets. So I'm going to start buying 1 gram or 2. Right now, if you're going to buy just my brother, and I know you want gold, but if you're only going to be buying 1 or 2 grams, you're going to pay a hit on a premium every single time. Here's my advice to you. Take advantage of the gold-silver ratio. Buy silver. It's at $22 an ounce, but don't worry about the price of silver. It's at 91.5 to 1 is the ratio right now. Why I say that to you is you can start buying silver, and then when that ratio comes from 91 or 90, let's say you have an average of 80, and it comes back down to 40, you take 40 of those bars, and you trade it for an ounce of gold, and you'll still have approximately, after you pay all the fees and everything, probably about 35 ounces of silver and your ounce of gold. So you might as well double dip. This is how you get gold for 50% off. You just have to, it could take years, it could take decades for this ratio to come back into play. Hell, what I'm seeing right now, PAX G is turning into a nice buying opportunity. Anybody know what's set up? Is that a bull flag, my audience? Audience, please tell me. Yes or no? Is this a bull flag? And then we'll go back to Peter's shift. You should always stick around, especially when we relax, because we bounce around like no other. And I don't like to leave after 30 minutes. I just tell people I'm leaving. You guys know my trick. I tell people I'm leaving and then they miss the real information. I'd rather have the ones who want to be here. I say it every time. If you want to be here, I'm more than willing to share my own portfolio, but it's going to be on my terms. I might not tell you to get the hell out of here, but I'll make you leave if you're just like, oh, he's done. We're done with XRP and the real information. I like to sneak a lot of information. What does that look like, folks? Folks, we had this talk before, remember? And it's not guaranteed, because if it breaks down, nothing's guaranteed in life, folks. We talk about this all the time. But when you start to spot opportunity, do you take opportunity? Now, the beauty of this is, if this isn't a bull flag, we'll see it shortly. We'll see it shortly, because it'll break down. And that's why I always say never buy until after the daily flip. Even though it's PAX G still. It's on a futures exchange on MEXC. So they still deal with the 7 o'clock flips. SHX is holding strong. Interesting. I've heard a lot about that. I think we went over it a little bit. Tom Silver versus XR. They're not compatible. You can't compare. They're not in the same category. I don't compare them to each other. You should have both. Don't leave yourself short change when we get into the next flip. And what I mean by that is when we go digital, you better have everything you can have or get your money on, or get your hands on, I should say, with the current value in the dollar. The worst thing you can do is have nothing when the dollar crashes. Gold versus, like I've always said, gold for store of value. I would never touch XRP for store of value. 0% chance. If I'm looking for exponential run-ups with more risk, crypto. But they're both good store of values for their own way, for their own reason. The reason why crypto is a store of value in its own way is because crypto is a form of money no matter where you go. And you can still save with crypto. It's just if you want less volatility, you need to go with the gold and silver. That is a real store of value. Crypto is more speculative, but it can help you get longer term gains much quicker than gold and silver. But it can also find you in the gutter a lot quicker than gold and silver. So, but they're both. You should have both. They both work the same. They both are working on the same angle. Money. They're money. Remember that. They're money. You can spend it anywhere. But the only difference is like gold, you can hold it. Crypto, it's what the hell is crypto? You know, we know what it does. But like you can't just say, hey, I'd like to cash out my XRP and hold it in my hand instead of keeping it on the exchange. You can put it into a wallet, but it's still the same bullshit. You can put it inside of your own little USB ledger, but it's not. I can't fit my gold inside of a digital or a USB or whatever. You can't fit it in there. I can hold it. I mean, you can store it in a vault. So yeah, that's what I'm looking there. But yeah, as far as all the rest, like, I'm all talked out with that. I mean, I'm sure you could convince me if you sent the YouTube super chat or joined Tom's Army, it might give me that motivation. But I'm all talked out today. And I appreciate everybody who pays it forward and everybody who's still here. And now let's listen back to Peter so I can enjoy my relaxation. But there's one thing I've been wanting to do. It's been a little sad around. Everybody's getting a little down with the market. Everybody feels like it's just not going to get any better. And there's one thing. And some people are like, oh, you don't do it as often. No. It's got to be the right moment. It's got to be the right moment. Fortunately for everybody who's here, the conditions have been met tonight. We are in the right moment. So for anybody who knows, old and new, if you're new, you won't. Ladies and gentlemen, the sun. Sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we have and we will and we won't and we will and we just don't know no more. They all lie, they cheat, they steal, they don't tell us the truth, but it's okay because Bob can tell us the truth. Stay true, stay blessed. Well, Tom, you know as well as me, I got caught up in their bullshit just like everybody else, so why the hell would I know the truth? Bob, I was giving you credit. Well, Tom, you know, it really pissed me off when I was down 78%. God, Bob, do we have to do this again? Oh, I see, Tom. Now you're over there smoking your drugs again. Oh, God, Bob, can we just not go through this every single time I'm trying to have a conversation? You know, you guys brought him out. You kept asking for him, and now look. He's here. He's ridiculing me. I can't even get through what I'm trying to do. Well, Tom, I think, you know, I was down 78%. I know, Bob. We all remember the song. While I'm feeling good, I'm up big. I was down 78%. No, I'm not. I'm not down. I'm up big. The hell with those run guys. They got me all fucked up. I was destroyed down so big. My wife left. My car broke. I have no roof over my head. Thanks to Tom, I can now afford my little trailer park. Hey, see, it's all good, Bob. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Holy hell, this guy. Bob, your wife left you. What the hell is that all about? Well, Tom, she told me not to buy, you know, Dogecoin when I was at the Saturday Night Live, but I wouldn't listen to you. They all said that Elon Musk character, he was going to make it work, and that SpaceX was going to have it rocking. Wait a minute, Bob. You said you didn't buy it there. Well, Tom, I lied. Gosh. Bob, watch your language. I'm sure everybody left now. God, I love Bob. Did his, by the way, for anybody who's heard that song from the beginning, did his song get better? Did Bob learn? I think he learned. Told you 2024 is going to be the roots, but it's going to be better. Oh, yeah, she is. Believe me. Julie's the biggest trooper. Bob, you know, you got a pretty big audience here now. Do you have anything to say? Well, Tom, you know, I think you should share some of those donations with me. Well, let's be fair, Tom. You need a little more than $5 to share, don't you, you cheap bastard? Hey, that's pretty unfair, Bob. It's not always just $5. Sometimes it's more. Well, sometimes it's less too. Will you shut up, Bob? You know, I really need a puppet for Bob. Don't you do it, you son of a bitch. Bob, I won't. Just keep tempting me. God. All right, let's listen to Peter Schiff before everybody leaves.
That we've had under Biden, which is a complete lie. There is no renaissance. Every president, manufacturing renaissance. We are in the dark ages in U.S. manufacturing. And that's
that guy, I swear.
The news that people are celebrating is really inflation in disguise. For example, one piece of good economic data that came out during the week was retail sales for December.
Well, Tom, you know damn well I wasn't finished. You know, Tom, are you ever going to stop with this stupid puppet? It's not a puppet, Bob. I think you are very nice as a nutcracker. Well, Tom, you know, I'm a pretty old guy, and, you know, my beard looks pretty nice right now, and I have all my teeth. I mean, you didn't hear that, Tom. Oh, God. Bob, we're not going to go into your teeth, okay? JW, welcome for the $5. I appreciate it. Oh, God, you just gave him clout now. Thanks, JW. Well, Tom, that just proves my point. What'd you have, $4.99 donations on your own? And now I come around and you get $5. That puts me up by 1 cent. So where is my money? Bob, it's more than just the money, okay? It's about the community. Will you just relax?
Which was up more than the forecast. It was up 0.6. and the forecast was up 0.4. So everybody, oh, this is great, right? Retail sales are up more than expected. The economy is in good shape. Retail sales are up because prices are up. That's why. Yeah, prices go up. It costs more to buy stuff.
Okay, now this is what I wanted everybody to hear. You know how we've been talking about inflation? Let's get serious for 1 minute. I know. It's hard when Bob's around, but... And for everybody who doesn't... Bob's just the every man and woman. The every person that just doesn't quite understand, but wants to achieve big things, but sometimes gets distracted with all the FUD, the hoopla, the nonsense. You know, the stuff that we really don't want to take seriously, but ends up getting pushed in our face day after day. Well, Tom, you already know that's why I'm down 78% or was, but I'm feeling good. I look great. My beard's full. Peter's bald and I'm not. Hey, don't you dare insult Peter.
So that means retail sales go up. These numbers are not adjusted for inflation. And even if they were adjusted,
Bob,
it's still
how dare you?
Because the government inflation numbers
Jesus Christ.
are too low. But also, where are Americans getting the money to buy all this stuff? A lot of it is being borrowed. I went over that the last podcast.
I think we figured it out. Insult Bob. No, we're not insulting Bob, but Bob is the insulter while he's singing. He can do no wrong while he's singing. I'm figuring it out that as long as Bob's saying it, it's on him, man. I can't control both of us at once.
Record high credit card debt. Record high consumer debt overall. Consumers are going into debt to buy stuff. And they're using that borrowed money.
Well, Kryptonian, that's my kind of humor right there. And just ignore Tom, you know, when he spouts off about me, because I am really a cool guy. Well, why did you insult Peter Shipman? Well, that wasn't an insult, but I was just pointing out the fact that I'm a pretty old guy. I'm older than Peter, and I got more hair. How do we know? You've got a crown on. Well, Tom, if you just look at my beard, my goatee, and the back of my hair, it speaks the story. Okay, Bob, we've had enough of you today. Thank you. Goodbye. So, the point is I want everybody to watch this because it's speaking more of how price increases is what's happening within the stores, within what we're buying, with our purchasing powers becoming less. Not that we're doing better in the country because sales are going up in stores. Sales are going up because the basic necessities are going up. We're not buying the goodies anymore. Now instead of buying our playthings, our entertainment, you know, things that are outside of food or things that we need to live, we're paying the same price just for the need to live and not being able to buy all the over the top. That's what happens when you want minimum wage at 15, 20 bucks an hour. That's what happens when the person at McDonald's is making the same as somebody on a line. You can't have it. No offense if you work at McDonald's, but you can't be in a business where you're not producing anything for the country and expect to get paid the same. Somebody sitting on the line, it may be repetitive, it might be a pain in the ass, but they're creating stuff we need. Jay Mathers with the $4.99 donation says the first Bob experience and gets a donation. Of course. You know, you guys are really going to put it to Bob's head now if you keep donating while he's on. God. Well, at least he didn't see the name. He seems to, God, here we go. I knew he was going to say, wow, Tom, you know, this just proves my point. You only had $4.99 in donations before I came on. And now, what's this already? JW, $5 for Bob. Jay Mathers, $4.99 for Bob. First Bob experience and already sent in a donation. I'd say the problem's you. The audience isn't cheap at all. Look at that. Bob, nobody said the audience is cheap. Well, Tom, you know, it's just kind of funny that I'm outdoing you 2-1, and I've only been here about 25% of the time. Well, Tom, don't you always say work harder, work smarter, not harder? God, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Jay Mathers. Thanks, JW. Everybody with the J, thank you. Especially thank this J. The triple J's. All putting in the work. Bob, we'll get back to you since everybody seems to seems to embrace you. But you see, the one thing you're not accounting for, Bob. Wow, Tom, you know, the 47 people that are here watching me are better than the 84 that were here when I started. What do you mean, Bob? From a monetization standpoint, I'm doing 10 times better than. But
to bid up prices. That's another reason why inflation is getting worse. Because inflation, remember,
holy crap, an hour.
it's not just an increase in the supply of money, it's an increase in the supply of credit. Because as far as the consumer is concerned, spending money and spending credit are the same thing. Because you could take credit into a store and buy stuff even if you have no money. And that's what moves prices.
I bet he did.
All these people going out and buying stuff, competing with one another and bidding prices higher. And so credit has been expanding, even though we've had a slight contraction in the money supply, which is nothing compared to the massive expansion that preceded it. But we've never had a contraction of credit. Credit continues to go up, and that is inflationary pressures. It's going to keep pushing prices up. Again, all this talk about inflation being dead and buried is BS. It is resurrecting. You're going to see a resurgence of these inflation numbers. In fact, some of the economic data that came out today, we got an uptick in consumer sentiment, and much bigger than expected. One of the reasons for that increase in consumer sentiment was an expectation that inflation will be lower. The expectation went from plus 3.1% to 2.9%. So consumers expecting a little less inflation. Although I think the main reason that the consumer sentiment picked up was the stock market going up. We've had this surge in the stock market, and so people feel wealthier. But also Trump, and I'm going to get into this after the break, but Trump is now the betting favorite to win the White House.
Not doing politics, because we're not trying to be divisive. You just got to understand the central banks run them all. Trump is a lot more entertaining. I was a lot better off when Trump was in office, just because it seemed like the working guy got over more. In today's America, it seems like the one on welfare gets over just a little bit easier. A little more opportunity there if you're looking for it in that regard. Shit is gonna hit the fan here, and it sure is. It sure is. It sure is. Well, Zenda, I can tell you concretely, I would never hold Bitcoin anymore. So I wanted to buy in at 48K, but Tom told me, you better not buy that, Bob. I came live on air and said, Tom, why the hell aren't we in Bitcoin? Wait a minute. I think that's the last time you let me talk. What the hell is that about? Oh, God, don't look at me, Bob. Now you're starting to look at me now. This is... well, Bob, you did try to buy in at 48,000. So Zenda... And I believe Zenda was here when you were trying to buy in. Well, Tom, you know, some people just know. Damn it. Well, Bob, see? But you didn't buy in, did you? Why? Well, Tom, it's because I was watching you. And don't let that go to your head. You always get so big-headed. Oh, my God. How do I get big-headed? Well, Tom, when you say all these other influencers can't do it, isn't that a form of big-headedness? Well, you know what, Bob? You may have a point. Well, Tom, I know I have a point, but you won't listen to anybody else but apparently me. Who said... Oh, for once, Bob, you made one good point. And you know what? I understand what you're saying. But in the end, aren't I just trying to tell people that there's scumbags out there? Well, Tom, that also is true, but you're still being big-headed because you're saying you're better than them. So how would you like me to say it, Bob? Well, Tom, if it was me, I'd just say don't watch those cocksuckers anymore. Bob, you can't keep talking like that. You're going to make everybody leave. But I embrace your, I embrace your tenacity, Bob. You would have fit well in 2021. But, all right, everybody. I think I've gone long enough to try to make everybody leave, and the fact 43 people are still here, I don't know if I can make anybody else leave. We've been stuck at 43 for a while. I was trying to see how many people would leave while Bob was here. Bob, you got 43 fans, my man. Oh, my goodness. Bob's going to get me fired. You're going to have the Bob show. You know what we should do? And I've been thinking about it for a long time. We should have 10 questions with Bob. 10 questions with Bob, or we run over to Bob for the round table, and it's the 3 big stories of the day, and Bob comes in and be like our news anchor. What do you think about that, Bob? Well, Tom, are you offering me a job? I've been retired for 7 years. Oh God, what? Sure, Bob. I mean, we would have to find out the details. You know, I can't get bent over the barrel. We don't have much. Spendable cash here, Bob. So you're gonna have to do this kind of for the good of the community. But I could see something like that. Oh yeah, your wife came into the one time in the show when everybody's gone because Bob's here, and when we're having fun. She couldn't have come in the other 45 minutes when we were talking real stuff. Real stuff. But, you know, how serious in a community can we be when XRP, we haven't sniffed a dollar in how long? We've all just gone a little crazy. Now what this is what do we call it? Good old-fashioned passing the time until 2028. I'll be halfway through my 40s by then. Well, not quite. Since I just turned 40. If you get a fat puppet, you can totally pull it off. I think so. I think so. Oh my God, could you imagine like a Yokozuna Bob? Hello, Tom. Bob, what the hell happened to you? Whoa, Tom, I was enjoying the winter just a little too hard and put on about 50 pounds. You could have, you know, dyslexic Bob. You could have, Bob with amnesia. He could go back to the hell of being down 78, but we could have so much fun with Bob. It takes a certain part of the community to deal with Bob because, let's face it, most people are human and they're probably offended by Bob. Do you guys remember how Bob started, by the way? Because we had the Lewis lines. So that I was the best technical analysis. I'll never forget this until the day I die. The best technical analysis he's ever seen. Ever. And we can go through this view. It's 2024. So everybody always says you never keep it living, but I do in moments like this. See, we're an hour and 7 minutes in. For some reason, 43 people just won't leave. And I love it. What is this? What the fuck is this? Live subscription price change. I don't give a fuck. I don't go on fucking TikTok for lives. What the hell do I care about that? TikTok. Stay away from me. You see they're spying on me. TikTok's like, come on, you can get subscriptions. We'll give you anything. Just come over here. You got 19,000 people. Will you go live one time? No, I will not. I'm dedicated to YouTube. I don't like TikTok. Don't like it. That's why I call it TikTok. TikTok. It's only a matter of time before it's gone. TikTok. A lot of people say they don't like YouTube because it's the hardest platform to get viewers. That means it's the right platform to get viewers. So, but Lewis. There's a little bit here. It was the one right here. But, yeah, I took it. Sure. Did you do it? Mm-hmm. Did you roll that one or did I?
No, you did. I wanted it.
But, all right, I'm going to go, everybody, because my son is going to need me, and Julie needs me now. She needs me. So, it's been a good show. I appreciate all of you, and we'll be back tomorrow, as always.